Okay, for all you liberals and progressives lately that have these pro-Biden boners, do me a solid, and not that kind of solid. No pun intended. Watch this video. Just watch this video.
You've got to look at the candidates and figure out who's with the billionaire class and who's with ordinary working Americans. Biden ain't with the ordinary working Americans. He urged Congress to intervene to prevent rail workers from striking when all they were asking for was some paid time off to deal with emergencies and health issues, okay? Biden didn't raise taxes on the rich, didn't even come close to doing that, and instead turned around and raised taxes on self-employed people who make money off of selling their arts and crafts on Etsy. Okay, he didn't increase the federal minimum wage. He didn't provide assistance for childcare. His infrastructure bill provides massive government grants to corporations. The same infrastructure bill, the so-called bipartisan infrastructure bill, also allows for the privatization of public lands. I mean, are we really having a conversation about which candidate would be better for ordinary working Americans? Like, just don't do the false advertising on behalf of Biden. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Number one, what Anna's talking about here, he says, if Biden does these working class things, then he'll win in a landslide, okay? But that's a giant if. Biden isn't going to do those working things. In fact, there's a 0% chance he's going to do any of those things between now and the election. I mean, in Bernie, in his own mind, because he likes Biden and lives in Washington, thinks that Biden will do some of it in his second term. I don't believe that for a second, but it doesn't matter. He's referring to the second term. For now, the Republicans of the House, Biden loves Republicans. He's not even introducing anything. Look, guys, I was just in Washington. I talked to tons of staffers, and I'm here to tell you, the Democrats have absolutely zero plans in these next 2 years. They don't plan to introduce almost anything, and they have absolutely no plan to pass anything. So what Bernie's in effect saying is, why doesn't Biden give lip service to the working class? But they've already done that 2,000 times. And it's all a lot of malarkey, as Biden would say. So Biden has no credibility, none. He had his own Delaware senators go out and torpedo $15 minimum wage. He doesn't want to increase your wages. That's a stone cold fact, okay? So Bernie, I love you, but sorry, you're totally wrong. And by the way, on our side, we're not a cult. The right wing, they're like, oh, Trump, whatever he says, yeah, break the law. Breaking the law is awesome. Whatever oh yeah, cheat on your taxes, cheat on your wife, cheat on everything. Yeah, we love it. No, we're not like that. Progressives think on their own. So we don't have to follow Bernie mindlessly. Second part is he's saying basically progressives shouldn't run against Biden. So my answer to that is hell no, no way. We do not agree. We do not agree. You don't want to run, that's your business. God bless. I get it. And by the way, I don't want Bernie to run because Bernie doesn't fight. So Bernie would just hand it back to Biden. He'd just run a campaign where he'd tell you how great Biden is, and then Biden would win. So I have no interest in that. I'm sorry, but I'm being honest with you guys because that's my job, okay? So no deal to both of those things that Bernie said. I will be very, very clear. There's no one in elected office, progressive or otherwise, or whatever they call themselves, that would come within 2,000 miles of being able to beat Biden. Because number one, they're not even gonna try. Number two, they're all absolutely convinced within the Washington bubble that it's a crime to run against Biden. No, he's polling at 38%. It's a near guaranteed loss. And yet everyone in Washington has bowed their heads. So you can call it anything you like, but it doesn't really matter what we think of those folks. They're not gonna run, and if they ran, they run super weak and would have no chance. No, it has to be an outsider. It has to be a wild card. And at that point, I know, I'm not unaware. No one knows how much the media sucks and it's complete corporate propaganda, and we're trying to obliterate anyone from the outside. And mark my words, and they're already doing it to Marianne Williamson, but if you have even more credible, and by the way, Marianne is perfectly credible, but I'm just saying if you had a second option that was also an outsider, they would absolutely torpedo that person, and they would pretend that they cannot be credible. So I know, is it hard? Of course it's hard. But you have to do it anyway because Biden's gonna lose, and they all know it.
It appears, at least at this moment, things can change, but at this moment, it appears that the general election will come down to two people, Biden and Trump. And in the minds of the Democratic establishment, Trump is such a dumpster fire that this couldn't be a better scenario for the Democratic Party. But I think that they are overestimating the advantage they have, and I think they're playing with fire. And it's gonna hurt the American people. So what do I mean by that? I do think that this video captures the mood among Democratic voters as it pertains to Biden running again for re-election. Let's watch.
You voted for Biden.
I did.
He announced this week. What was your reaction?
Regret, disappointment, frustration.
Well, it's very early in the race. That disappointment and frustration was expressed again and again by young voters we talked to.
I think I would go for Biden, but obviously I would prefer a fresher candidate.
He announced this week. Were you excited by that?
Not particularly. I'm more interested in a progressive candidate.
Despite having voted for Biden last time, 21-year-old Elena Symes couldn't point me to anything that would make her want to vote for him again, except...
What do you like about Joe Biden?
That he's not Trump.
What I want to know is how many of you saw this part at the end and was like, Because he's not Trump. Like immediately. How many of you didn't even have to think about it and knew exactly what she was going to say? I know that when I saw this, I said it immediately. It's because he's not Trump. And I was like, say it. Come on, just fucking say it. And then she said it. I was like, oh, I'm definitely doing a video on this.